All right, so postpartum is a hot mess. Let's talk about navigating it. So I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning. We're not gonna talk about pregnancy or childbirth. I'm gonna talk about postpartum and just a couple of the phases and a couple of the things that go into it. So first is postpartum recovery. And well, first, let me go back. So, postpartum is the period of time after a woman has a baby, when she's transitioning as far as emotionally, physically, with her body, her emotions, her hormones, things of that nature. Now, I think like if you Google it, it's gonna say like 6 weeks, but I'm gonna give it 2 years, 2 years minimum, and I base that and I relate that back to breastfeeding and the time that that takes. So that's just an average. That's, just a number out there, but I don't think it's anywhere close to 6 weeks. And I think the numbers are very much higher than they say as well. I think more women than whatever the percentage is. I think all women have postpartum depression at some point. Now, this entire video isn't about postpartum depression. It's just about the postpartum period, and that's that time period. Like I said, up to 2 years after a woman's given birth to a child. So I'm gonna start with recovery and healing after postpartum. So I've had 2 home births. Both were natural births, no medication or anything. So first, I guess I'll have like a list of essentials. My number one is going to be that squeeze bottle. Oh, I don't even know what it's called. Maybe a peri-wash bottle. Um, but it's just a little bottle you squeeze and it's got a little L shape and necessary. The little, the little disposable diapers necessary. Liners that go in there. I think I use Honey Pot brand, but you can make your own and freeze them, and the temperature matters. I didn't make my own. My doula could have done them for me, but you can just look up a simple Pinterest recipe for that. Um, Afterbirth drops to like ease cramps. I can't remember what afterbirth ease after something like that. You're gonna need something for that. Um, Heating pad, some good food, some food that's good for you. There's a book, I think it's called The First 40 Days After, and that's the really, really good food that you should be eating. And that also, I'm pretty sure, includes foods that promote breastfeeding and milk production. So that's all I can think of for now for the essentials. The first 6 weeks care, you're gonna want to do a little, it's not gonna be a lot. Um, I think you're only supposed to pick up however much your baby weighs at that time. So that might be 15, 20 pounds. The day that I had my first child, I walked to my kitchen and I did put some dishes in the dishwasher and started. But I took a shower right after and I ate. That was the first thing I did. Well, I guess I latched my little boy, like he latched on, and he drunk, and then I ate, and then I took a shower. And I guess all that was after. My midwife checked on him, weighed him, signed the birth certificate. Yeah, that's all I can think of there. As far as it goes, like physical recovery after having a baby, like I was even scared to touch down there. I didn't know what to expect. Like it wasn't bad. I didn't have any rips or tears either time, so that was surprising. But I guess things they don't tell you. The first number 2 after is tough. And constipation. I had a lot of constipation after my first and my second. The second topic I want to get into is a postpartum mental health. And my youngest is 19 months, I believe. So 4 months short of being 2 years old. So I'm still in that postpartum period. And I've been through it once with my son. He's about to be 5 in January. So he was about 3 when I had my second little boy. So I was just kind of coming out of there and finally, sorting things out. But yeah, then we went on that whole loop again. But postpartum depression is real. It's hard to talk to anybody who's not going through it right now, other than somebody who's been through it in the past. And you feel like nobody around will understand. It feels like you're in this constant cycle of being overwhelmed and defeated. That's the word that comes to my mind best, defeated. It's like you try to catch up, but there's no catching up and there's no end in sight. And it's hard to explain that and for them to understand the gravity of that sentence unless they're going through it. And even if they've gone through it, sometimes they forget if it's been a while and their situation might have been different. Like, I understand my mom, we were in school, so she did have time to herself during the day. I don't have that. You need some support. You may need a therapist if you can't find a family member or a friend to talk to, someone in a similar situation. I would suggest a Facebook group. Like, even if I don't say anything, I know I'm not alone. If you have a partner, try to keep them updated. Don't let it all boil up inside and then explode. Constantly, consistently communicate and understand. I'm the worst when my period is about to start. Like, I be ready to, I don't know, like the whole world just be falling apart. And then all of a sudden I be like, oh yeah, my period about to start. And then it start and I still act dumb. I can't be the only one. Yeah. So I really think we should destigmatize mental health when it comes to postpartum. And like I said, I think every single woman who's had a child goes through postpartum. I mean, your body changes, your mental changes, your emotions change. These hormones ain't no joke. I'm telling you, like, I don't have to track it every month, even though I do, like when my cycle starts. I don't have to track it to know, like, and connect it with these cycles of having children and breastfeeding, when they stop breastfeeding, when they start eating, and they drink less breast milk, and it's just all, and then my period starts. It's all connected in one way or another. Like, that's just a life period. That's a good quote to live by. Everything is all connected. The next topic I want to talk about is breastfeeding. So I had latch issues, and a lot of women have latch issues, or not women, but I guess infants. And since infants can't speak, you may have to bring someone in who can speak for or to or with the infant. So I did have to have a lactation expert come out. They're called an IBCLC. Do not know what that stands for, but I know that is the correct abbreviation. So I believe her visit out was $250, and that was without insurance paying anything. I think she spent an hour and a half with me. She changed the diaper, she talked, she just related. I was a brand new mom, and she was there to comfort, and she helped with, me feeding my child. So well worth it, if you ask me. If you're at the hospital, they may have staff. Ask if they have someone who specializes or who can come in. They may have an IBCLC on staff or some other form of that designation. Being a working mom and breastfeeding is hard. It's like breastfeeding is a luxury in this country. And in my state, in South Carolina, it is legally, they have to provide you a 15-minute break to pump. Now, I pumped manually. I didn't take a pump. With my hands. It's called hand expression. There's not a lot of YouTube videos on it. If you want one, let me know. I'll find it and put the link. But a lot of people don't do that. Like, it's just old. It's an older technique. And breastfeeding is, not as common. And then that method's not as common. But it was easy for me because I just had to carry a bottle around wherever I needed to. But that made it easier for me to get done in 15 minutes. I didn't have to lug around a machine or clean any parts or anything of that nature. But I understand 15 minutes is not long. Like you gotta damn near get dressed. Like you gotta set up. You gotta make sure your hands are clean. You gotta store it afterwards. You gotta get dressed afterwards. You gotta pump. That's what takes the longest, and then even the anxiety or the stress of having to hurry can decrease or suppress your milk supply. Man, it's just crazy. So I encourage you to, if you are thinking about breastfeeding or if you're on your journey now, reach out and get some support, do some research, go hard. Like my first little boy, I did 23 months. My second, at about, I think, 12 months, I introduced him to formula because my supply was sucking. I was at work. I was working at my dad's, and the environment was not conducive to pumping at all. There's cameras all over the place. There was one bathroom that everybody shared. There, it was none. Like, I tried in my car with blinds all around, but it's cars in and out of the parking lot. It didn't work. So it got cut short. Just do the best. Do the best with what you got. Do the best with what you can. The next topic is postpartum nutrition, healthcare. There are postpartum doulas who specialize in this period of time and helping you. It could be with nutrition, mental, whatever. It's somebody who specializes in it. Look it up. As far as physical goes, take it slow in the beginning. Listen to your body. A lot of us don't. A lot of us think it's common, or it's just what happens after you have a baby. When you gotta pee, you gotta pee. I need to work on this, but it's your pelvic floor, your core, and there are specific workouts that you can do just for that. I have a whole set of routine that I think I was clear to do maybe 10 weeks after from my midwife. So look into that. The first 40 days are super important. Make sure you eat well. Make sure you have food stocked, frozen, so that you can just thaw. People cooking for you maybe the first week, instead of asking for diapers, or, people, you don't have to ask for a babysitter, somebody to come watch the baby, somebody come cook for you, somebody come clean you, somebody come hold the baby while you take a shower. Like, there's things you can ask for. You just have to understand what you need. So there's definitely that. But nutrition and motherhood is tough. Like, half the days I forget to eat. Like, period. It's tough. So I'm just finishing breastfeeding about 3 weeks ago, and I still, I ain't gained any of my weight back, and I'm sad about that. But I really haven't changed my eating habits at all either. So, I mean, I figured I gained weight, but nah, it ain't working like that. Do the best you can. I'm not an expert on this topic. Let's go on to the next. Simple self-care routines. You do need to have that. Your time is very limited. Won't even get to go to the bathroom by ourselves. Sometimes we get to shower by ourselves. That's the main time that I get to myself each day, shower. And that's because can't nobody come in at that point. That's the only time I'm by myself. So develop something somewhere that you can do. Mine is in the bathroom. That's all I got right now. Or right now, it's 11:35 at night. I need to finish this video so I can post it before 12. But I'm going to do something before I go to bed. Be resourceful with what you got. The last topic, so I can post this video, is reclaiming your identity, which I'm still working on. This is probably the hardest, if not the second hardest. So going from an individual to a mom is mind blowing. Who knew how it was gonna be? Now I do. It's crazy. Never could have prepared. So I was 31 when I had my first. I lived my life 31 years by myself, and then I had kids, and now nothing is my own. Most of the time, not even my thoughts. I guess those are wrong. That's the only thing. But I can't have them. Like, I ain't even got time to have them. Like, I just hear mom, this, that. I'm just pulled so many. I can't even have my own thought. That's the problem. But yeah, my money, like, limited because I can't work all the time. Somebody got to watch these kids. And my husband makes more than I do. So he got first priority there until this YouTube start popping off. And then it's a different story. Y'all go see me all the time. But next is tips to maintain hobbies, relationships. Yeah, keep your hobbies. If you feel like it's not you anymore, pick up a new one. Find something. I keep saying my new hobby is going to be to learn Hebrew, but it just seems so hard to do on YouTube, and I don't know nobody who speaks Hebrew. But that's what I want to do because I love the way that words are built. Every word's built with. Let me not go into that because I only got like 20 minutes. How to prioritize your dreams. My biggest piece of advice here is you're not going to be able to get done what you used to do in a day or in a month or in a year. But you need to realize that just raising them kids is the biggest and the best job that you could do. Like, I kept my kids alive, like sustained their whole life for almost a whole year. Like, I fed them. I kept them alive, literally. It's prioritize what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you can't do everything. So pick and choose. When you pick some things, you're going to uncheck some boxes. But at the end of the day, if you prioritize well and you know yourself, your values, you're going to make mistakes too. Just keep pushing. You need to, I don't even know what this is, evolve with something. Evolve with motherhood. It's always changing. The kids are going to get older. You're going to have more. It's going to be different, new arenas and playing fields all day, all the time. Get used to it. Put your head down, do the work, adapt, go with the flow. That's all you can do. And I don't know what this last one says. So let me go ahead and go. Let me know if you want to hear anything that I mentioned a little bit more about it in the comments below. And I'll see you tomorrow.